What's up, guys? This is Multitude of Gun Gamers. We're coming at you from our little Airbnb arrangement at SHOT Show 2019. We're in Vegas. It is currently Wednesday.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so we just finished up our rounds of the second day of SHOT Show 2019. And we did not upload anything after the first day because we were busy doing various things, but we won't get into that. But we're going to talk about what we've seen at SHOT Show, mostly from the Airsoft side of things, a little bit from the firearms and tactical gear side of things. And we're going to talk about what we've seen, what the new things are, what the exciting things are, what we're looking forward to, maybe some things that are interesting to discuss, and yeah. So let's start off with what is each of our favorite thing we've seen at the show so far. So Garrett.
Oh my god, you have to make me pick. That's tough. Like just the Airsoft side?
Yeah, let's narrow it down to because most of our channel mostly focuses on Airsoft. So favorite Airsoft thing you've seen at the show.
Okay. Honestly, probably the new mag from PTS.
The new mag from PTS
is really cool. The capacity is really high. We'll do more detailed stuff on it, but it's looking real promising.
Yeah, the new mag from PTS is a collaboration between PTS and Odin Innovations, Jordan from Odin Innovations, and they came together to design and produce this magazine, and I don't want to tell you the exact capacity they told us that the first samples tested it at, because it is subject to change, but they are going as far as to say it is over 200 rounds.
And
in a mid cap,
and it has that fuel gauge, and it's really cool. I think it's almost game breaking.
It really
having
is.
That much ammo in a non-winding mid cap. I do think Milsim event promoters they'll probably ban it, or they will say, hey, this is up to this amount is allowed for mid cap. But for open plays, speeds off games, or anything like that, it's very interesting. I think it's going to be cool. Or maybe if you're doing an IAR kit, if you want to do something like that, or maybe if they ever make an AK type of thing, then that would be cool. So Kyle.
All right, that is what he said is my favorite Airsoft thing. So I'm going to choose something that actually is both worlds, but it works for Airsoft. Mm-hmm. And we actually don't have a name for it yet because they haven't decided on a name. But Hollow Sun is coming out with a pistol-mounted light laser system that's both for visible and the IR spectrums, a lot like the D-Ball PL, except I think it's better than the D-Ball PL because of how it functions and is designed. It makes much more sense to the user in terms of how they operate it.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. It seems to have a lot of potential. It's kind of a proof of concept right now. So even the photos that we put up may not be its final form.
Correct.
But
we know they're changing some things, actually. The switches they were changing.
Yeah, the switch is currently not able to be accessed while it's mounted, so they're going to be extending that switch. But it's really cool, and I'm looking forward to having a possible white light and IR illuminator and IR laser solution for handguns from Hollow Sun that will probably be more affordable than the D-Ball PL.
Right.
But also, I do think legitimately has an advantage with form factor. I think it'll be easier to make holsters for.
Easier to make holsters for, and if you're wondering kind of how it operates and why I think it's better, if you're familiar with the D-Ball PL, they have one side for white, one side for IR, and then you have to toggle with those switches in between the modes. So if you double press, you could switch modes, and things are really weird like this. On this, it works like a traditional flashlight in the sense that both sides have a single function, on-off. That's it. And then if you want to be switching between the modes, there's a separate switch that you can access to do it, which I think makes way more sense, and it's way more idiot-proof that you won't screw it up when you're doing it in the middle of just trying to toggle lights and things like that. So
it's real similar to the way a rifle-mounted one is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good way.
Which I think is the better way of doing it.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be really cool. So we'll probably end up getting one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing I've seen so far. So my favorite thing I've seen at the show so far is probably the new handguns directly from Sig Sauer. So Sig Sauer did bring their own Airsoft branding in-house. They pulled their licensing from Cybergun and anyone else who had their license yanked it, brought it all in-house, and they are going to be handling the manufacturing, quality control, and distribution. Now, they're not making the handguns in New Hampshire, or any of the guns that they have in New Hampshire. When we asked them, I said, hey, who's the OEM on this stuff? Would you be comfortable disclosing that? They were not comfortable disclosing that, but from examination, it seems to be a reasonable guess that they are OEM'd by VFC.
Yeah, all the hallmarks are there.
They feature the guide rod turn adjustment for hop-up. They feature the fill valve on the back of the magazine for the M17, which is very much like the VFC FNX. They also, the MCX that they had on display was very obviously a VFC MCX. So they're clearly using VFC from our best information, from all the hallmarks being there.
Yeah.
That's our opinion. If we're wrong, then we'll eat it. But based on everything we know, that's our best guess. But they will be offering rebuild kits. They will be offering parts replacement.
Yep.
And they are going to be handling quality control. They're going to be handling distribution. They're going to be handling warranty. They want to completely take over their brand in the airsoft world and take it seriously, because they definitely want to control that.
Yep.
And I think that's a good move. I think more real firearms manufacturers should be doing something similar.
Yeah, and the important thing that I noticed too is they're taking it very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They understand their position in the market right now. They understand what their brand means, and trying to best utilize that in the airsoft market appropriately. That's what they're going for.
Yeah, and I think that that's going to be a good move for them.
Yes.
And they are looking into expand with other lines of their product. Now, obviously, probably the most popular thing for SIG right now, beyond that pistol, is the MPX. And so, of course,
that is a short-term goal.
We asked them.
Yeah.
We said, "Have you considered that?" And they said, "It's a short-term goal."
Well, the particular exchange was, hey, so maybe long-term goal, would you guys consider releasing an MPX? And they just looked back and said, short-term goal.
Yeah.
It was a pretty clear exchange.
It's gonna happen. We don't know when, we don't know anything else, but it's gonna happen.
They are aware of the popularity.
Yeah, they know that people want it. And not just for, the gaming purpose. They're very serious about like the cross-training application. The Coast Guard did adopt their 229 as their training weapon. It's really cool. Amy.
Obviously, if you can't already tell, I really am excited about the MP7.
Yeah, the AEG MP7.
Yes,
that's your favorite thing you've seen?
Yeah, from Elite Force, the AEG MP7. Mainly because, as you guys know, I do have the TM one, and it doesn't really go up to the velocities that, are more acceptable for outdoor kind of play. And having Elite Force come out with like about 330 FPS is what they're shooting for, is going to be perfect for those outdoor games and CQB.
Yeah, well, because a 1 joule MP7 is going to be pretty much perfect for being an AEG MP7, because it'll be SN.
And you can quick change spring it as well, so you can put a little bit higher spring in there, so bring it up to like 350 maybe, and then you should be right as rain into any situation, really. Well,
and I know that Rich from Wolverine posted on his social media already, pledging, Wolverine is going to come up with an HPA solution for this.
I don't want an HPA because I just want to be away from that. I just like the AEG portion of it.
Yeah, but
because even if I wanted to HPA, I could just put a Bingo Works into my TM MP7 and I'd be fine then too. So I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, but if you want to do that, then that is going to be an option.
That's fine, obviously.
But Amy is strongly against that. Amy hates you for it.
I don't. What? I didn't say that.
I heard Amy say that she personally wants to shoot you in the back of the head with a 12 gauge if you HPA the AEG MP7.
12 gauge. More like
you all heard it. You all heard it. Put it down in the comments. Back me up. You heard that. All right. Well, I have an interesting one from SHOT. One of the big pieces of news was that Valken is becoming an Elite Force distributor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was told by parties on both ends of it is basically that Valken is now going to be able to sell Elite Force products to the Valken network of dealers. This is not to replace any current Elite Force dealer arrangements. This is not to replace any current Elite Force distribution methods, but this is to allow Elite Force to tap into Valken's network of dealers and to allow Valken to tap into Elite Force's array of products. So it's an interesting arrangement. And I know that some people are going to have visceral reactions because I know there are strong opinions about both brands. But I think that I think this is going to be interesting to watch happen because Valken does have a massive dealer network.
Yes.
And I think that Elite Force and Valken might both really benefit from this arrangement. So it's interesting to see these two. I mean, because I feel like most people have felt like Valken and Elite Force are pretty fierce competitors.
Yes.
But now they're kind of cooperating. Is that, I don't know if this is going to represent any kind of a trend or anything, but it's definitely like it's a clash of the titans in a way.
Yeah.
It's not even a clash, really.
Right, yeah. It's like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan coming together, you know? It's,
For me, interesting is different from you guys interesting because I'm very excited for the ZEV Tech stuff from PTS. Now, granted, I honestly didn't think they were going to do anything with that licensing because 9 times out of 10, people or companies usually don't do anything with certain licensing. So I was honestly expecting it to never really happen, but I'm excited to see that and pretty much it's almost ready to go. They're just waiting for the packaging to finish up, and then it's going to be rolling out to stores and stuff. And which I thought was really interesting was the high cap of 5.1 base plates that have rubber. I know someone mentioned on my Instagram that 9ball already has it, but I've actually never seen it. But for now seeing the PTS ones, I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for for a lot of the new PTS products. Actually, I mean they have the magazine that they announced. They have their new M-Tech helmet, which actually fit me. You know, unlike most replica helmets, they have their ZEV Tech parts.
Yep.
They have a lot of stuff coming out this year. I think this is they're now distributing the GBLS DAS system.
Yep.
They've got a lot of stuff. PTS is really trying to up their game, and for more than accessories, they have the N23 AEG now.
Yes.
Which I know you're excited about, that stubby little Car 15.
I love that stubby little Car 15. It's great. But for exciting news, I think something that hasn't really been talked about is they did a serious upgrade to the Hater.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Elite Force Hater has an adjustable TDC hop-up now.
Yeah, they did the adjustable hop-up. They changed out some of the metal parts. And then they added fiber optic sights to it. And
all for $5 more than the previous
price is expected to go up $5. It's a crazy deal, and it makes the Hater actually almost practical. Yeah.
Well, and then Elite Force also snagged the Smith & Wesson license.
They did.
Yeah. Oh, and the M&P all of a sudden. I didn't even know they had M&P.
Yeah, so they had a Performance Center M&P on display.
They did.
They had the other M&Ps on display. They had was it the R8?
They did have an R8.
Yeah, they had an R8 on display, which was an 8-shot revolver.
Correct.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Then they had the Avalon, internal MP5 on display, which felt amazing.
Yes.
I bugged them about doing an SD version with a full stock. I really, really want that. So, and everyone in the comments below, actually no, just go DM Elite Force directly.
Yes,
just
harass them
and say, yo, full stock MP5 SD. E-House demands it. Judy demands it.
Tactical Wizard demands it.
Tactical Wizard demands it. Give the people what they want. Don't do that. Or do. Either way. Yeah.
So something that was really interesting to me, and this was separate, I broke myself away and actually went to go talk to Spirit Systems because we did a review on the Microfight system. I bought one, and it's really interesting, and I wanted to get their perspective on where they feel their position is in the airsoft market, if they're even aware of it. They actually are aware of it, and they're...
How could they not be?
Yeah, sure, but, sometimes there's some gear companies that, they don't necessarily cater to that, and I don't expect Spirit Systems to cater to airsoft needs and wants and things like that. They're obviously focused more on law enforcement and military, but the fact that they're aware of it, they've watched videos of it. They actually watched my video on the bank robber, and I was not expecting that when he told me about it. So that was really interesting, and they were actually very excited about it. They're very intrigued at it. They see different videos about airsoft, and they're like, yeah, man, that's cool stuff. They're not dissonant. They're not saying, we like to focus on this. They're totally embracing it, because I think for them, they're just happy that people enjoy their gear, not necessarily worried about who's getting it and why.
Well, that's very much like the Haley Strategic way of doing
Exactly.
things, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big part of why Haley Strategic has been so popular, because they're like, we don't care who buys our gear. We don't care what you do with it. We care that you're buying our gear, you're liking our gear, and that we support you in whatever you're doing. So I think that's really a healthy attitude for companies to have. Or otherwise, it could be 215 gear and piss off half your consumer base.
Yeah. So that was cool to me, to know that a relatively popular brand is able to aware of that.
Well, and something I've noticed, and this has been a continuous trend as I've been going to SHOT Show and as we've been doing Gun Gamers, is a lot of bigger players are taking the airsoft market more seriously.
Yes, they're increasingly taking it more seriously.
And I think that comes from both within and without of airsoft.
Yes.
Because even a lot of airsoft brands, I would argue there are many airsoft brands who don't take airsoft seriously.
Yes.
Not that I'm saying BB War is serious business, but that I'm saying treat the product as a serious product enjoyed by adults who are hobby consumers who want a good product and a good value for their money and want to be supported with their purchase. And I think that there are companies, this is a big part of the reason I'm a Crytek fanboy and always will be. I think Crytek is one of the big ones that's always pushing that envelope. I think that SIG now is starting to realize that.
Yep.
I think Elite Force has been very on top of that.
Yes.
PTS, absolutely.
Oh,
that's their bread and butter.
Yeah. With conversations that we've had, it seems like more and more companies are really taking it seriously.
There's a smaller and smaller segment. Actually, they're becoming a minority at this point. They're just like, yeah, we sell to kids, and it's great.
I am not going to name the company.
Nope.
But there is a company that SHOT Show 2016, I had a conversation with one of their reps who basically told me, yeah, we want to be the one purchase that a player makes before he quits Airsoft. And at SHOT Show 2019, a conversation with a different rep has yielded an entirely different company attitude toward the game, and the actions this company has taken have yielded a much more serious approach to the way that they're trying to market themselves, which tells me that even companies within Airsoft that might not totally have gotten it before are starting to realize, hey, we can make more money if we take this seriously.
Yeah. Go for it, Kyle.
All right, so another cool thing we saw, and this really applies to the Milsim West players specifically, is ATM.
Everyone take a drink.
Thanks, everyone, drink. ATM came out with a baseline thermal sight that's just over $1,000.
Yeah.
Which, if you're familiar with thermal sights, that is incredibly cheap. Incredibly cheap. We got to check it out, and we're going to post up some video of it and stuff like that. But for airsoft purposes and ranges, it is really useful. Mm-hmm. And because the disadvantage to their day-night sight is their day-night sight needed a huge illuminator to work. So when you try and use it at a Milsim West event, you just become a beacon and then you get shot.
Yeah.
This doesn't have that problem. And I think it has a lot of potential. $1,000 is very expensive because you can get into some nice Gen 2 nons.
Yeah.
Or even, well, not quite Gen 3, but you can get some nice
You
Gen
can get into Gen 3 if you're me and get very, very lucky.
Very, very lucky. But generally speaking, that's some quality Gen 2 nod pricing. But you have a fixed system where you don't have to worry about illumination on a rifle. I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And especially if it, in a year or two when they update it, because this is clearly the stripped out model, the prices could drop on it.
Yeah.
And then once it becomes sub $1,000, it's going to be hard to say no to something like that.
Or if you catch it on sale.
Or if you catch it on sale. Same difference. I think it has a ton of potential. Imagine at night with a thermal scope doing sniping with an HPA gun.
Oh, God. It would be amazing.
It would be amazing. And they wouldn't be able to track you because you don't need the IR laser because you have the scope to be on target. Mm-hmm. It would be good stuff.
All right, so now we're going to get into part of the video that might be a little controversial. We're going to talk about stuff that we didn't like at SHOT Show 2019. Things that we thought were a bit disappointing. things we think could use improvement, maybe next SHOT Show or maybe before release, or just generally things that we want to talk about that we thought were a little bit of a letdown at SHOT Show 2019. So let's go, Garrett.
Okay. First thing, we stopped by the Cybergun booth. It was pretty empty. It was hard for us we didn't find a rep.
Did not
Could
find
not find a rep to talk to.
It was at the end of the day, though.
It was at the end of the day.
It was toward the end of the day, but the Cybergun booth was like dead.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on there. The one thing that we did kind of find, just kind of perusing whatever was there, we found a plastic-bodied M249 that the molding did not feel great on.
It felt really cheap.
Really
Let's not
cheap.
beat around the bush. It felt cheap.
It utilized a standard V2 gearbox.
And specifically, it looked like Ares.
It did look
I don't
like
think it even looked like Ares. I think it looked like a lot of the stuff they had on the wall looked like Dytac.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the only reason why I came to that conclusion is because the cylinder was like a pinkish purple type of color.
Oh, okay.
So,
Maybe it was Ares, but
Regardless, there's tons of space inside of the receiver for a belt fed like that to use a really beefy gearbox.
now to be fair, G&P's 249 series does use a V2 gearbox, but G&P is G&P.
Yeah, G&P has really good quality externals. They've really good quality internals for the amount of money that you're paying for them.
Yeah.
So it seemed like now again we didn't get any details
Yeah, we
about it
didn't
at all.
Yeah.
But
No one approached us at the booth. We were there for a while.
yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like the reps were very much like there was a couple of them like keeping to themselves at that range thing that they had set up. It was, we wish someone would have been able to shed some more light on some of these things.
Yeah. So that was disappointing for me.
Yeah.
All right, for me, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, I was not super thrilled with the Elite Force MP7.
And I don't agree with you on that either. But state your case.
My reason why is when you held it, and it's very hard to actually articulate why I wasn't happy with it, but when you hold the Elite Force MP7, it doesn't feel like a premium gun. It doesn't have that, like when you hold it, it doesn't feel like it's something really nice. Like you have your hands on something that's really posh. Now, to be fair, we were holding a prototype that failed QC.
Okay, so that could explain.
So that could explain why I was unhappy with it. So why I was unhappy with it may not be a real problem. But when I held it...
But that could actually be a useful bit of feedback because perceptions of prototypes can shape perceptions of products.
Absolutely.
So maybe companies that are going to SHOT Show should consider what they're putting out. Now,
So-
I personally don't because so much of what's at SHOT Show is prototypes.
Absolutely.
But continue.
I'm glad that I saw it, and I'm going to wait till I see a finished product one to make a final thing. I just, when I held it, and then I held a real MP7 later.
Well, of course you hold
Would-
the real MP7. It doesn't compare.
It doesn't compare, but I felt like the little touches were totally missing. But again, it could be because it was a prototype. But I don't know. Like, I held it, and at first I was like, I'm going to pre-order an MP7. I'm definitely going to get one right away. And now I'm like, let's wait for the production version. Let's see how it turns out. Because it didn't have that feeling of, like, this is amazing, and it just needs the edges polished. It had a, ooh, did they miss something kind of feel. But again, is that prototyping, or maybe is something not quite right? I don't know.
I think the prototyping thing bit a company in the rear end for me, and that was actually ICS.
Yeah.
Because ICS had a lot of handguns on display at the show,
Yes.
and all of them felt like garbage because they were unfinished prototypes.
They were.
Yeah.
They all had like fixed barrels.
Yeah.
They didn't rotate. There was all kinds of weird stuff
Yeah,
going on.
there were a lot of really garbage feeling prototypes at the ICS.
Wait, you meant G&G.
No,
ICS.
I mean
Okay,
ICS.
never mind.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
But yeah, ICS had a lot of really garbage-feeling prototype pistols at their booth at ASG, and I don't mean to poo-poo ICS. Apparently, the BLE is great, from what people have been saying. I have yet to get one, unfortunately, but the pistols they had on display seemed more like a proof of, hey, these are coming. They did not feel like, hey, this is what they're going to feel like. It felt like, I don't know, maybe IWA, they'll have some more finished stuff to put out.
IWA is usually when they really put on their show.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, yeah. Prototypes you got to be careful with, man, because they can bite you in the ass depending on how they're looking when you get them out there.
Now, pistols that were not prototypes, from what we understand, that I was pretty disappointed in general, was G&G. And I hate to say this because I actually like G&G as a company generally.
Yeah.
But
no, those were rough.
Yeah, their handguns, I'm not on board so far. Their handguns look and feel generally not great.
They feel like how do we make this cheaper but try and make it look cool? Like that's the engineering approach I feel like they took to this, to building those handguns.
Some of the front and rear iron sights didn't really work. Like a lot of them were blacked
They're
out.
striker fired. They're like fake striker fired thing that I don't even know what they call, like the GTP9. The front and rear sights make no sense. They seem like
the open hook.
Yeah, the open hook rear sights. Those seem like they were designed by someone who's never shot a handgun.
Yeah.
It was bad.
They seem like somebody that was, I want to be so different. I want to set myself apart, and they went way too far.
Well, and they had that weird split slide one too.
Yeah, there was a lot of I don't know. I feel like G&G's handguns aren't there yet. At least based on from us handling them and from
my disassembly. I had to check it out internally. I took both slides from the high kappa and that weird striker fire one, and it's, I don't know, it looks cheap. It's cheaply made. I mean, sure, they have a green hop-up rubber like what they use for the combat machine, and the gasket on the mag, same thing. But aside from that, I mean, it doesn't look super high quality. It feels really, really cheap. A lot of the spring guys aren't even metal.
Yeah, it's I don't know. G&G's handgun line needs some work, in my opinion, which is sad because I think a lot of G&G's products are cool, like the Enfield that they have.
The
Enfield is super
really
cool. They had a really cool Enfield that felt like a really cool gun, really high quality, well made, interestingly designed gun. So, and I would hold the Enfield and be like, "This is really cool," and then I went over to the pistols. And I'm like, "What happened?"
Yeah, I'm not sure what their plan is with these pistols.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they pull together. You know, one thing they had that was unique, though, was that the Cobalt Kinetics.
Yeah, they did.
Cobalt Kinetics gun
G&G
really cool.
is dropping a Cobalt Kinetics
Now,
licensed
would you like to
AEG.
explain what a Cobalt Kinetics is for the people who don't know?
Yes. It's a race gun platform where what happens is, in the real one, when the magazine runs out, it just ejects the magazine for you.
Yep.
And they managed to devise a real one, or an airsoft one, that does exactly that. And then you can turn it on or off. So if you have your mid cap in there, you're shooting, and it runs out, it'll just go boop, and it'll shoot it right out, and you can load the next one in. Now, a lot of people may find that annoying, but I think that's innovation right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is innovation. That's cool.
And it's coming with G&G's G2 gearbox, which it has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a neat system.
Yep.
And I think that the Cobalt Kinetics gun is very interesting. Whether or not it'll have a place in like the serious skirmish market, I don't know.
It's not really meant for skirmishing. If you do a lot of 3-gun, especially in Asian markets, they do a lot of 3-gun. I think that's great for that. Or if you just want to practice at home and feel cool, it's cool for that too.
Or I would almost...
It's a very strong competition.
Very strong. Heavily geared towards competition.
I would also argue almost that type of system could be beneficial for like maybe a Speedsoft player who really wants to optimize their reload at the Speed QB
Unfortunately, a
tournament.
little long for the Speed QB tournaments because it is a really long barrel.
It is a 16-inch.
A short barrel version of the Cobalt Kinetics.
If they had like a 9-inch or even a 7-inch, it might be a little bit better. But the 12 or what is it? The 16?
I think that was a 16.
Yeah,
16 way too long.
It's a clone of what the Cobalt Kinetics rifles
way
are.
too long if you want to use it for Speedsoft.
All right. Now, what disappointed you? What let you down?
ASG.
Really?
Yeah, ASG. They showed off some like weird kit for the Scorpion Evo, and it looked like it was a fish gun. Like the front end had this like almost looked like an LVOA, but it was way wider. It reminded me of that JG fish gun that came out.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The Ikazuka.
Oh, now that
That's
you
what it
mention it,
reminded
totally
me of.
does,
And
and that
then-
ruins it for me. I actually kind of liked that kit, and now I think about that, and I'm like, No.
It's exactly like that. And with the kit, it also comes with a angled foregrip already pre-installed, so you can't even add any other attachments to it at this point.
It's removable.
Is it removable?
It's M-lock on it.
Yeah, because they're selling it as an individual kit and as a complete gun.
Got you.
They're selling it complete with the gun, a complete kit,
Okay.
just the pieces,
But,
and then each
here's my
individual
thing,
part.
though. We're not crapping on the Scorpion Evo.
No,
Scorpion
no,
Evo.
Scorpion Evo.
The Scorpion
Great.
Evo has proven to be an amazing gun.
Yes.
And I actually, in terms of aesthetics, I adore
Yeah,
the
I like
integrally
Evo.
suppressed Scorpion Evo carbine.
Yeah.
That is, if I buy a Scorpion Evo, it's gonna be that one. I keep putting off buying a Scorpion Evo.
You know what we should have told them that they really should make is not that longer integrally suppressed one, the short real steel one that they make with the fat suppressor.
Yes.
That is
really
what
cool.
they should
Yeah.
make.
And make
That-
it at like a really tiny
with you.
pistol carbine.
I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. I think that ASG would be better served by doing something like that. Cause
Yes.
I don't know what they were thinking with this fish kit. I don't think anybody's going to buy that.
This
And if
was
they
not
are, it's
good.
going to be little people. There's no one that's going to be buying any of this.
No.
Now, obviously, if you disagree with any of what we said here,
It's totally
put it down in
fine.
the comments. And this is all personal taste. Maybe you think
just
we're
really
stupid.
different.
We probably are. But
I mean, we're not. Some of us aren't.
We're not
bright
smart.
people. Myself.
all right.
Anything else cool about SHOT Show? We got to touch a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite thing to touch?
STI.
STI is your favorite
Yes,
thing?
Of course. Every year. I love touching STI race
Yeah.
pistols. Things
I'm
like
not
that.
even going to act surprised.
Eric, what is your favorite thing to touch?
My favorite thing to touch, all the LMGs. Especially, I got to see handle a real PKM.
You did get
So-
to handle a real PK. That was
Yeah,
pretty sweet.
I think that's a lot of fun because I like belt fit machine guns, and I wish I could own them, but sadly that ship sailed in 1984,
86.
86, yeah, 1986 that ship sailed. So
My favorite thing was actually Korth revolvers.
The
yeah.
triggers were so buttery.
If you
Yeah,
have
those
ever
were
had
awesome.
never had a chance to handle one, and you like revolvers, don't, because
it will
it will.
spoil revolvers forever.
Like, I went from Korth revolvers, and then I went to Smith & Wesson Performance revolvers, and they felt like pieces of trash, and that's a terrible place to be because they're
Yeah.
very expensive, and I can't afford them.
Yeah, I think the cheapest Korth revolver was
1600. 1600 for the cheapest one. The one we handled there was
4,500.
4,500, and then they had a race gun, which was probably like 5,000 or something ridiculous like that. So
Yeah.
don't do it.
My favorite thing I touched was I made a bold move, and I decided to touch the Heckler & Koch grenade machine gun. I figured out how the charging handle works, so I racked the bolt carrier all the way back, and I watched the gun jump in my hands when I depressed the trigger.
Yeah, the entire bolt assembly just slamming forward in that thing. That must have been like 5 pounds of mass.
More than that.
I
It
was-
probably 10.
Yeah.
I was a booth over at the time, and I heard the ka-chunk.
I was watching, and the gun rocked the tripod.
Yeah.
And this isn't even like actually firing a grenade.
No,
this
no,
is
no.
just sending the bolt carrier home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to be fair, there were no sandbags or anything on the tripod. But then
True.
And I, to be honest, wasn't holding onto the gun because I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I managed, and the charging handle on that, you got to pull it back like 18 inches to get it to fully lock back.
Yeah.
And then depressing, the trigger's light.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
really light. Yeah,
okay.
it's
Disturbingly light.
yes. Not quite that, but it's like a, I don't know the best way to put it. It's a big butterfly trigger, obviously, but it's smooth throughout the entire travel. And then, ka-chunk. Having a sight that's graduated to 1,500 meters on something like that is just hysterical.
it was great. So now Amy and I have been to SHOT Show
3 times.
3 times.
Yes.
And you guys have never been to SHOT Show.
Correct.
So
First time at SHOT Show.
Yep.
what do you got? What's your favorite thing about SHOT Show? Period. Like what are you enjoying? First of all, are you enjoying yourselves?
I'm definitely enjoying SHOT Show.
Definitely enjoying SHOT Show.
Now, whether show or otherwise, what's your favorite thing about SHOT Show or this trip or whatever?
The favorite thing about SHOT, Vegas is the food. The food. Holy shit.
Yes, the food. Yes, the food.
Oh my god. But for SHOT Show, it's actually the sheer scale of it. Like, when you take pictures, like, I try to take a couple of pictures to try and, like, get a feel and show people the scale, and it doesn't do it justice. Like,
No.
you can't express the scale of how big this event is.
The best picture that I saw was ITS, Imminent Threat Solutions, ITS Tactical. They took a picture of the entire, one of the floors, or one of the entire halls. They had to do it, I think it was, like, up on a platform like 20 feet up in the air to be able to capture everything.
And that was one room section.
Yeah, that's one room. There's 2 of those.
Yeah.
Or actually 2 in like
It's not fair to say that there's 2 of those room sections. There's 2, there's upstairs and downstairs, and then there's multiple other suites off of that. There's something like 12 and a half miles of walkway at this show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's significant. It's
Like-
a large event.
Like, we're walking, like, on average about 4.5 miles a day worth of viewing content on here, and we are not touching a fraction of the amount of shit that there is.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. And a lot of the vendors there, like, just get walked by.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
It is an absolute shame, especially to the guys.
I want to give credit to, I think it was AJ and Hunter, I think, did the math on this.
Yeah, they did.
They did the math on this, and it was, if you wanted to see everything at SHOT Show, you have 8 hours of show per day for 4 days.
Yep.
You could take 20 seconds at every booth,
That-
assuming no travel time between booths, no breaks,
Yep.
and from start to finish, all 8 hours.
So basically, you could do a slow walk through all of SHOT Show and never stop and look at anything, and then you would technically see everything, but not really.
Yeah.
What was my favorite thing about SHOT Show?
Yeah.
Honestly, talking to a lot of the reps and giving them like feedback on things that we've experienced.
Yes.
And them telling us about upcoming products, because you can tell the people that are really passionate
Yes.
about some of their products, and you can kind of tell the people that are not really into
and
it
that
as
make or
much.
breaks our feeling of how we want to deal with some companies or things we may even want to buy personally, because like we would deal with some companies and the way they sell their product when they're really into it, you're like, I get it, I get why you've designed this way.
Perfect example.
Primary
arms.
Primary arms.
Primary arms sold me on their like
And Hollow Sun.
And Hollow
And
Sun.
Hollow Sun.
And Z-Shot.
Yes, Nelson from Z-Shot. Throwing a shout out to you, dude. You are awesome to talk to.
Yeah, love Nelson. Love the whole Z-Shot crew.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
all great.
Yeah. How you like they sold it to us. Like by the end of dealing with the primary arms guy, I'm like, I want to buy the scope. I don't have a gun that I can use this scope on, but I want to buy it, and I'm gonna figure the rest out later.
Yeah, he just explaining all the little minutia.
Yeah.
Was you can tell who's really into their product and who's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like, to me, even though it was cool to touch everything in Heckler and Koch, they kind of weren't.
Heckler and Koch didn't care. They didn't
No.
want to talk to us.
Well, because we're not gonna.
We're not buying anything. We're not in
Yeah.
the market. But the reps, if you like the way the reps handle it, they were just there to field the idiot questions. They weren't there to talk about their product and why their product is awesome. That is not why they were there.
Yeah.
But it's Heckler and Koch. But then, like, Sig was so different.
Sig was totally different.
Totally different.
At the same time, we also talked to them pretty early. Again, we were asking, I think, some pretty solid questions to them.
But
And
then we
we-
even
and
just went over to their handgun display
Yeah.
after we talked about the Airsoft stuff, and a totally different rep who like didn't even know of our previous conversation just came over and started nerding out about 1911s. It was great.
It was great.
It's always really cool to find the reps and the companies that are super into their product, and they're not necessarily trying to sell it to you as much as they're trying to just tell you all the little interesting things about it that they like.
Correct.
Yeah, but that's very similar to what I like most about going to SHOT Show. I like most about going to SHOT Show is like catching up with people I know,
Yep.
catching up with people I don't get to see that much, And there are some. Yeah, I was right about to say.
Okay.
There are some people who I don't see as much as I want to. American Milsim, I don't get out to their events as much as I should.
Yeah.
But we got to catch up with Bo from AMS at the LBX booth, and I haven't seen this dude in person in 2 years. And Bo greets me, like gives me a big hug and greets me as if we just saw each other last weekend and we'd seen each other every weekend before that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, there are people who you can only see once or twice a year, maybe at SHOT Show or maybe at a couple of other events.
Yes.
But the fact that you get to catch up with them and get to hang out with them and get to just talk about your shared passion with these people is what I absolutely adore about SHOT Show. That was why, when I went to the Elite Force party, while you guys were doing some other secret stuff we won't talk about on camera, when I went to the Elite Force party, I was there because I'm like, I know a ton of people here. I want to drink with these people. This is a good time.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing. Dayton and I got to bury the hatchet about the use of house in our names. It was great. But that's what I love about SHOT Show. To me, seeing the products, seeing everything, that's all really cool. I love doing that. But I'm in it for having a good time and seeing the people, which
and honestly,
that's what I love.
Honestly, some of the candid conversations we have that without the cameras rolling, without anything like that, some of the stuff to hear that's coming makes you excited. It really does.
Yeah. There is a lot of information tossed around SHOT Show that you will not see on camera.
No, you never will.
That will never leave the vaults of certain people's brains until the time comes. That gets you very excited for where the industry is heading.
Exactly. Yeah.
And maybe we have more of those conversations now because I feel like we did not have those same types of conversations, 2 years ago. Yeah. Because I feel like our position is kind of different.
Yeah, well, I mean, we weren't as big as we are now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And also we didn't know a lot of people as well.
This is true, yeah.
So, I don't know. What's your favorite thing about SHOT Show?
I just like the networking. I like just trying to get the Speed QB tournaments just out there a little bit more, and a lot of them are really on board.
Yeah.
They're really cool, especially the Red Wolf people we're talking about. They're just
The Red Wolf people are so much fun. I love those guys.
They're great to
They
have.
asked me personally, what do you think Speed Stuff could want from us? And I like that kind of stuff.
They were asking for specific product feedback from you.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
We're having a lot of fun.
At the same time, getting to hang out with you motherfuckers is always a good time.
Oh, God, you're the worst, though.
Coming here and getting to experience the show and to see all this cool stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
It's a really good time.
But I want to take a second here. I'm going to get a little sappy, so all of you brace yourselves.
Oh, God, I'm leaving.
I want to point out the fact that part of the reason we were able to afford to go on this trip was because we saved. We don't get a ton of ad revenue from YouTube.
No, we do not.
But we did save a good chunk of that ad revenue from this year.
Yes.
And use it to help pay for our lodging.
Yes.
And that did significantly help us be able to afford to come here.
Correct. Yeah.
So to you guys who watch our videos, share our videos, talk about our videos, enjoy our videos, any level of enjoying our content, any level of watching our content, if you're watching this now, thank you guys. Because the fact that we're able to come out and do things like this, with a little bit of help, I think is amazing. And I did not anticipate Gun Gamers getting to this point. We're on year 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Has that occurred to anyone else? We're on year 4.
Year 4.
Yeah.
That's a number.
Time.
That's a number.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And I'm really interested, just both personally and also kind of detachedly, of where's this gonna go? How's this gonna keep moving forward? And I'm really glad that I've got you guys who are here, and also our guys who were not able to make it, our guys back home, and such a wonderful group of friends and such a wonderful community among our subscriber base that we are able to just have such a great time with. This is
Yep. I mean, granted,
is awesome.
Granted, doing these videos, it's definitely work, but we really enjoy it, and we really like having you guys along.
Yeah, I love this. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that sappy note, I've been E-House.
I'm Garrett.
Kyle?
Amy.
And we are at SHOT Show 2019, and that's kind of our recap of like most of the business stuff we did.
Yeah.
We're gonna go and kind of knock off some personal wish list stuff that you'll see. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching, and we're signing off.
See ya.
Peace. Thank you for watching this video from Gun Gamers. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. Check the description below if you'd like to buy a t-shirt or a patch, and use the coupon code JUDY10 for 10% off of your next order at Amped Airsoft. Thank you again for watching, and praise Judy.